In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to make this Arba Minim, or 4 species, painting for your Succah. This is quite an advanced activity, but you can take anything that you learn in this video and do it to your level. So you might just want to draw the Arba Minim, or you might just want to paint them basically with their local colours. That means just the colour that they are without any light and dark. Or if you want to be a bit more ambitious, you can then try adding the lights and darks. And from watching how I do it, then hopefully you can learn how to do it yourself. For this craft, we're going to first draw out our Arba Minim, or the lulav and esrog or etrog, whatever is your preferred pronunciation. And then we're going to use watercolours. You might have a watercolour set like this, and you can use that, it's fine. The quality of your image is going to be vastly improved if you have better quality paints. You can still get colours even from something as used as that, and you can always get replacement pans. So you might get a brush that looks like this, and I would strongly advise against using brushes like this because they're rubbish. You can just get a cheap set of watercolour brushes, which even with synthetic hairs, which is what I prefer anyway, are vastly better than using this with very, very plastic bristles. You're not going to be able to paint nicely or precisely with this kind of brush. So that's what you should get. It's going to be quite important to use a piece of painting paper, watercolour paper ideally, or mixed media paper, because the minute you start wetting your paper a lot, it's going to buckle. Okay, we're going to start very roughly getting the lulav in, okay? Remember to keep your pencil very light in your hand because you really don't want heavy pencil marks, they will show through. Now on this side we have the hadassim, and there are 3 stalks of that. Now the general shape of the hyssop leaves, remember they are supposed to represent eyes, is like this, and then at the top you have more that kind of shape, okay? We're just going to try and get the idea there of that, so we're going to do lots of these. Again, keep it very, very light because you really, really don't want heavy lead and pencil marks showing through. Now the aravos, remember, represent lips, and we have a leaf shape that's more like this, and often they might be a bit wilted, and there's only 2 of these. So if we just draw that central branch, and then we can just do the leaves coming off like that. You can make one bent as well, just for effect. And just adjusting the hadassim a little bit. So the esrog is going to have a bit of a square top. Then it comes out like this, and then round. Okay, and then like that. Okay, and then we want to do a few of these things. Hold the lulav together. There we go. Then you can just go around with your rubber and try and neaten it up, make the drawing more slick, because the less pencil marks we have, the better. And you can add a little pitum onto your esrog as well. Now to do the background, we are going to use a tea bag. Okay, so you need to wet your tea bag, and then you can start staining the paper. Just softening the edges. It's much better to leave it to dry if you can, if you've got time, so that the tea doesn't run into the colours of the lulav and esrog. Now that's nice and dry, thanks to the hairdryer. We are going to start painting. So we're just going to do a basic colour wash first of all. So far what we have is quite a nice basic picture of a lulav and esrog, but it's a little bit pale and a little bit insipid. So now we're going to come back and we're going to add some darker colours, some darker shades to really add definition and make it really pop and look impressive. So from here on, I'm just adding darker shades, and I start using the complementary colours. So on the S-Rug, I'm using a thin wash of purple. And now for the green objects, I use some reds. Notice that I'm adding the dark shades, mainly on the left-hand side and underneath. Now I'm coming back to each object and gradually building more tone using various dark shades of greens, yellows and blues. I felt that some areas of the lulav were a bit too dark, so if you just wet the area you want to lighten and then dab it with paper towel like this, then you can get some of the light back. Here I'm defining the edge of the S-Rug by working on the background space, which is called the negative space, by making that darker so it has stronger definition. Now finding some highlights on the S-Rug. Now for the text, so I wrote it out on a piece of paper and you just scribble on the back and then you place it wherever you want it and you go over the lines and then it transfers down, and this avoids there being lots of pencil marks and lots of rubbing out on your nice painting. if you're not feeling confident with writing it out yourself, then you can just type it out and print it, and then you can transfer it. Or you can just cut out the letters and stick them on, just to save you another stage of it. Or if you're really not comfortable with Hebrew text, then you can always just write Happy Sukkahs or Happy Sukkot in English. Now I've just taken a darker shade and I'm painting it on the left and bottom of each letter to make them look 3D. Then I use this dark shade and just dot it around in the image to connect it with the text. And as a final touch, I just take some yellow and add it on the top and right of the letters. So here it is, all finished, our lovely Lula Vanessa picture. Thank you very much for joining me for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and subscribe to my channel if you want for other art activities and fun things. All that's left is to cut it out, tear it out, and cut a nice smooth edge. There we go. Yay. Glasses on, glasses off, glasses on, glasses off, glasses on. Can't see without my glasses. No contact lenses today. Anyway, bristles, you're not going to be able. Whoopsie daisy.